Lusa Community Chest is a volunteer-led non-profit organization that leads, supports and participates in community efforts that build capacity and mobilize resources to improve lives and create positive long-term social change in local communities. To tell us more, we have the Executive Director of Lusa Community Chest, Veronica Cronier. Veronica, good morning. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
What is Lusa Community Chest?
Lusa Community Chest is basically a non-profit organization, and we look at community impact programs and we mobilize resources to achieve those objectives.
And what are the key needs that you seek to address?
We have three focus areas: education, income and health. And because we are part of a community chest network, originally the community chest was started to help non-profit organizations, charity organizations. So we still do that as well. And then we have our own community impact programs.
And just unpack for us the programs that you have in these three key pillars that you focus on.
Okay, our biggest focus areas at this stage is income and education. And under education, our impact program is called Generation At. You know that kids from as young as 10 years nowadays are involved in substance abuse, they are having sex, they are cutting themselves. It's really horrific when you work in the schools and you hear what these kids are faced with. About 80% of them come from dysfunctional families. A lot of them come from child-headed families. So they don't have mentors, they don't have parents always to lead them and to guide them and to mentor them. And basic stuff, you know, like what is a principle, what is a value, what are you going to live your life by? Are you going to just, you know, go with the peers, or are you really going to decide what your dream is, and are you going to follow that? So we're working with the Department of Education. Last year we did about 33 schools in the Vaal Triangle and 5 schools in Pietermaritzburg. We're obviously looking to expand that. So we work with the principal, we do inner visioning with them, then we work with the teachers, and then we work with either grade 6, 7 or 8 learners, depending on the school. And we have peer facilitators in their early 20s that we train, and the peer facilitators basically facilitate a 12-week program with the kids. If a teacher brings these messages, the kids are not going to listen. But because we bring peer facilitators from the outside, it's peer facilitators within those communities that we've trained. The kids are more they accept it readily from the youth facilitators, and they are open about their issues. And in the program they focus on attitude, principles, values, their dream, their purpose. And what can sink those dreams and purpose of, substance abuse. All of that is discussed in an interactive classroom setting.
Is it open generally to the youth, or is it just mainly focused on the schools?
At this stage, Generation At is mostly focusing on the schools, except for the peer facilitators, because we train about 20 peer facilitators. In the end, we maybe use 10. So if you look at the transformation in the peer facilitators' lives, it's phenomenal. So the youth benefit as well, the out-of-school youth that we train to conduct these programs. But the biggest market is obviously the children in school. Between the ages.
Is there a limit as to how long they can stay in the program?
Well, it's a 12-week program. So it's once a week that we come to the schools and we have these discussions where they actually open up. It takes about 3 or 4 sessions before they really start trusting the peer facilitator. And then they bring, what's really in their hearts to the table and say, this is what we are faced with. And we've had to organize interventions, we've had to get specialists in child welfare. In some of the kids were in serious abusive homes. So we had to intervene and try and help these kids because nobody's listening to them.
And where are these schools that you're focusing on?
We did 5 schools in the Meyerton area, mostly farm schools. Then we did 5 schools in Sebokeng, and we did 23 schools in Metsimaholo. Now that includes Sasolburg, Zamdela and surrounding areas.
And your income generating projects, tell us about those.
We have income generating programs with some of our community partners. We have about 50 community partners that we work with in the Vaal Triangle area, and there's 1 or 2 in Joburg and a couple in Parys. So we identify organizations that have the ability and the capacity to roll out these income generating projects. We have typically vegetable tunnels. We in the past did a couple of mini bakeries. We were involved with some candle making programs. So it's basically to generate income to sustain the non-profit organizations working in these communities.
Now, one always asks of the big picture. What are you ultimately hoping to achieve with all these various initiatives?
Our dream is obviously to do it nationally. And to see Generation At in every school in South Africa, because it doesn't matter if it's a poor or rich school, the kids are hungry and desperate for it. They benefit, we change lives by just, talking to these kids. They are such a need, and the kids really are desperate for help.
Fantastic. Great talking to you this morning, Veronica. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Toby.
That's the Executive Director of Lusa Community Chest joining us this morning. If you want more information on this particular initiative, you can visit us on our website. It's www.growingtomorrow.co.za or call us on the hotline number 011 791 5658.